Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to another video on ForgottenWeapons.com. I'm Ian McCall, and today I am joined by Matt LaRosiere to talk. Basically, I want to promote Matt's channel because he's doing some really cool stuff in a subject that I think is relevant to a lot of the folks watching these videos, but it's not the sort of thing that I cover, and it's not the sort of thing that, frankly, I plan to cover or that I have the background or education to cover either. So Matt and his channel FuddBusters is covering firearms policy, firearms law, current events as they apply to those two things, because I can tell you, as someone who tries to pay attention to this, it can be really, really irritating to see a bunch of like crazy claptrap theories about ongoing current events and about legal subjects, and you're like, that's not what's actually happening.
Right.
And that was really refreshing when I started seeing your videos. I'm like, that's what's actually going on. Here's the actual information.
I mean, I really appreciate it, and it's a challenge, right? Like, so I'm not angry at people who are saying these different things, and in fact, I think a lot of them are probably sincere. The thing is, it is hard to actually get to the bottom of this stuff because they make it intentionally difficult to get a hold of the documents, whether it be a law or regulation or a proposed rulemaking, or actually what's behind these things, like what's the intent. So it's a real challenge to get to that stuff, and being that I'm a trained lawyer, licensed, and practicing as well, I know how to get to this stuff. So I want to be able to say, hey, look, here's the documents. Let me translate them to English real quick, and let's talk about what's actually happening. And I'm not here to sugarcoat it. I'm just here to say, here's what's really up.
Right. Regardless of what your opinion is on what ought to be in
Right.
any given legal case, you can't effectively make a case for it if you don't know the actual facts of what's going on.
Right, and so it's a battle, right? Gun rights are a battle, and to know how to fight in a battle, you have to know not only what your opponent is likely to do, but what they're not doing. And so I kind of take a two-tiered approach. I have videos that are like 101, I call it a 101 series, where it's educations on the background in gun law. How did we get here? A lot of the common topics, a lot of the older stuff like NFA, stuff like that. And then there's current events, responding to what's going on and trying to dig down into the details where I show my work and say, here's what is actually happening.
There's so much opinion, there's so much common knowledge, FUD work, in today's firearms community about, oh, well, I know silencers are illegal.
Right.
Or,
machine guns.
I know that you can't build a gun, or you have to get a permit to build a gun, or the one that you brought up is something that I mentioned I'm guilty of myself in a video I did a while back talking about semi-auto open bullet firearms.
Right.
And had a mistaken view of, wrong view of what the actual legal status of that was and why we don't see them on the market today.
Right.
And so it's, like I said, it's really cool and refreshing to see someone who's educated and understands the system and the actual laws delve in and tell you, okay, here's what's actually going on. Make of it what you will, but understand the reality, not like the game of telephone that
Right.
came from the clickbait headline that came from like the skewed source in the first place.
Right. There's so much stuff like that. Like, people will say, and you repeated it in good faith. People say ATF ruled in '86 that this was the case, and all open bolt semi made before that were grandfathered. And then my challenge to people who say that is, show me the ruling.
Right.
And they can't produce it.
Well, this stuff is so obscure. It's incredibly difficult, even if you want to try and find it. And
Right.
it takes someone who is a lawyer and has dedicated his entire career to doing this to
Right.
find it.
Yeah, and so like it's I don't consider myself particularly intelligent. I just know how to get to these documents. I know how to read the stupid Martian language that lawyers talk in, and then because in my background I'm a working class guy. I was an auto mechanic for the first few years of my working life, so I know how to speak English like a human. So I try to combine those things together and just communicate what's going on, what happened to in plain English. And my hope is that whatever I do, no matter what your side is, if you know the truth, you can better get to the outcome. And I certainly, it's very obvious what outcomes that I want, but I try to separate that out and just go straight no, right? Here's the facts.
Exactly.
Here's what's going on. So.
I think it's hugely valuable. I've got a link to Matt's channel down in the description text. It's FuddBusters. As you say in the intro, the host is a lawyer, but he's not your lawyer, so it's not legal advice.
Right. Well, I do endeavor not to actually. I can't just say it. I can't give people legal advice. So, but it's discussions, it's conversations, and analysis on law, facts, and what's going on.
So, check it out.
Yeah. Then, I mean, thank you all for watching, and Ian, thank you so much for having me.
My pleasure.
I really appreciate it.